Marshall Hamilton joins us in the bunker here on this Wednesday morning. Riders, Stamps, Ticats alum. How are you, Marsh?
Awesome. Always good.
Of all those topics we covered, did anything tickle your fancy or anything that you'd like to get to right off the bat this morning?
Well, I'll jump on two things. First of all, for those that are watching online and can see the feed, Norm Fong, who's the legendary, I think, Hall of Fame equipment guy for, well, it started with the Regina Pats, but ultimately with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. One of the nicest guys I've ever met in my entire life. When Norm Fong says that Kelly Bowers is the nicest guy he's ever met, that's an endorsement on top of an endorsement.
Yep.
So, well said, Normie. The other was, I know you were talking about number 76s, and I seen a couple on the feed that I wanted to jump on. Two that I had relationships with over the course of my career, but La Wozniacki, who I think has passed on.
No, the Woz Tusi. I believe he's in a cancer battle now, but he's still with us.
Struggling, yeah. But Woz was, just a character beyond all characters. I couldn't even start to tell you Woz stories because they're mostly X-rated. But one of the nicest guys and one of the biggest characters that there was in the Canadian Football League back in those days. And for a guy that didn't even look like an athlete, I mean, it was amazing how many sacks that guy got, and his nice little Woz Tusi celebration after the sack. And the other was a guy who I was going to mention when you were doing program 65, but didn't get a chance to, because he wore 65 and 76 with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and that's Bill Baker. And Bill Baker was my first boss when I started it was called personnel back in those days. He was the VP of personnel with IPSCO, and he hired me for a temporary project, turned into a 35-year career in HR. But just one of the most fierce pass rushers I've ever seen. And those of you that, it's probably beyond your era, or before your time, but I remember one game against the Edmonton Eskimos where he broke 3 noses with 3 different quarterbacks in the same game with the same left forearm.
Wow.
It was just
the clothesline.
Phenomenal.
Well, see, you would call it phenomenal. And that's actually, listen, I want to get around to Rob Bag talk, folks, and we will. That is a little before my time. However, everybody's telling me now with the junior hockey stuff that's going on, it's like, Rod, it's a different era. This stuff can't happen anymore. Like the guy running the goalie the other night. I told you I talked to my brother last night on the phone. We were talking about the beef thing. He's in Pittsburgh. He said down there they're talking about the goalie running in Melville. So I guess it was spectacular that Bill Baker broke 3 noses in one game. But these days they draw and quarter him. They put him in jail.
He wouldn't have the chance to get to the second and third one.
No, right? He'd be kicked out of the game.
Yeah, now, I mean, if you just touch a quarterback's helmet with your finger, you get a 15-yard penalty. Back then, he might have got a 15-yard penalty, but it was like, no big deal. Bring in the next quarterback.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So here's the wildest thing then, because we talked about that clip went somewhat viral yesterday. Our talk about the goalie getting run in Melville the other night, and the guy gets 25-game suspension for running the goalie. I've seen it happen 100 times where there wasn't even a penalty. So I guess
just the start of a brawl.
This is good. I guess this is good that this is out of the game anymore. But then why are these sports under attack now? They never used to be. These sports are under attack for violence and so forth. I guess that's why they say football's safer now than it was back then. But yet there's this PR crisis that football's such a dangerous sport now compared to then.
Here's my, and this is going to sound like a 62-year-old ranting about things these days.
Shake your fist at the cloud.
But,
exactly.
But we're in such a sensational world.
Yep.
Where everybody thrives on something being sensation. You don't see a good play on television. Here's another one of my pet peeves. People overuse the words incredible and unbelievable.
Yep.
And if you really look at the dictionary at the word incredible, it means the same thing as unbelievable. And if I told you would not believe the guy running that goalie, I'd say, why wouldn't I believe it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was unbelievable. What was unbelievable about it? The guy ran the goalie. Well, that's happened so many times in my life that it's not unbelievable. I believe it. Does it happen very often anymore? No. But it doesn't mean it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So stop overusing, not you guys, but stop overusing the word unbelievable. If you want to say it was
great,
surprising, if you want to say it was amazing, if you want to say it was phenomenal, I accept those adjectives. But don't say it's unbelievable because, it's believable.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I mean, in a lifetime, there's only a handful, there should only be a handful of really incredible, unbelievable moments. But every game, every time there's a goal in the last minute or something like, oh, it's unbelievable, it's incredible. But I mean, I'm with you on that. And as we've evolved through the media age, through television, and now into the internet and social media and things like that, all of these things are available on demand. So it's, one thing where the guy would blow up the goalie. I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened with Yorkton Melville, right?
No.
Between those two teams, or the old brawls between the Pats and the Warriors, or, other rivalries across the country that are so great. You talk about it at the water cooler, but you don't get to sit there and watch it over and over and say, look here's what he did. Look at this here. Look at this here. Look at this.
Yeah.
The puck is already gone. Da, 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 da. No, it was the heat of the game. It was emotional. They went at it. It was crazy. They settled it. There's going to be some suspensions, and you move on. Yeah,
I just can't believe now. It's great that there is video of this. We'd have been talking about this goalie being run, and the way they've made it sound until I saw it was like that they decapitated the kid.
Well, and that's what it would sound like at the water cooler.
Right, but now there's actual video of it. It was still bad, but I honestly have seen worse. So 25 games. It's funny. Oh, the comment just slipped off the page. Eric, watching from Herbert, Saskatchewan this morning, wrote that it's funny to see Roddy in a Warriors sweater. And I bet it is. But it's not weird for me to wear it. I was in Moose Jaw last year, and the Warriors brought me into their store and said, hey, here you go, which I love. The pullover, by the way. I love it.
Well, it's nice stuff. They got really good stuff.
They got really nice stuff.
Yeah.
And all these teams, the Rush, take me into the store. Hey, pick off whatever you want. It's awesome, especially when you can wear it on this show. And what I'm loving about this new life is being affiliated with all these teams.
You're free.
Who would have thought in the 90s that the Warriors would give me a new jacket to wear?
And we'd have Braden Point sitting right on the desk.
Braden Point's right. Yeah, I am free. It's fantastic. And actually, we were talking about this earlier. There's this one loser on the message board that just keeps ripping me all the time. Should I name him? Dano, he goes by, Dan Bergen. And he's ripping me all the time. It's actually creepy at how fascinated he is with me. Talking about what we said on In the Huddle last night about crowd noise. But he watches this show. He reads my blog. I should thank him. Well, for how much he's hanging on my every word all the time. But he keeps saying about, how do I feel about not being voice of the Riders anymore? I'm like, Dan, it's over. This is great. I'm explaining why. I'm over it.
Yeah.
You need to get over it, Dan. But just keep watching.
Well, you and I were reading an article. We share it on the phone about superfans.
Right.
Sometimes you got to treat them the best, right? So, I mean, as much as maybe you don't like him ripping you on the message boards, he's a super fan, and you got to make sure you treat him well, right?
Where would we be without people like that?
Yeah, he's out there.
We would have no show if it wasn't publicizing everything that we do. So thank you, Dan.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.